Ladies and gents, welcome again to another video. In today's video, I want to discuss with you guys on your full exit strategy on how to exit or transition out of your 9 to 5 in 12 weeks. And I'm going to show you guys the strategy I've done on how I was able to transition from working in my 9 to 5, my part-time jobs, hourly job, and fully transitioning on getting my first dip into online business or making money online, and just the whole strategy. We're gonna play it right now. We're gonna strategize it. So that's what my main goal is here in this video. So if you don't know me, my name is Elijah. Main thing I do here is I've had my first success in high ticket closing or ultimately just remote sales, right? And that's how I was able to work remotely full time. Could travel anywhere. I'm currently in Philippines, right? And that's how I'm able to actually, work from anywhere and my income is not affected, right? It's not like when you work a 9 to 5 job, you're ultimately capped in a one location. Your time, you don't control your time. You don't control the location that you want to be in. But ultimately, what gives you the freedom if you're in a remote job is you being in control of your schedule, your time, or where do you want to work, what country do you want to go to, right? And ultimately, that's why the main reason why I got into it, right? Of course, everybody has their own reason on why they want to get into, remote sales, if they want to make money online. But here, ultimately, my main goal for you is on how can I help you out on making this happen, right? I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I did. So let's go to my computer. I have some couple stuff that I want to share with you guys, and then we'll write it down together, and then we'll get you guys going in the next 12 weeks. All right. So here we are on my computer. So there are 4 areas that you need to consider, right? So it's first your health, mindset, habits. I just put this in one topic because you could practically put this, they're the same, right? Like your health is very important. It correlates with your mindset, and your habits correlated with your health and mindset, because if you don't do these in a daily, in a daily routine, then those things are ultimately what makes mindset and health, right? Because the habits that you do on a daily basis, right? And time, right? And then expenses, income, and opportunity, right? So let's break this down first, because this is important. When I remember when I was getting into online space, or when I graduated high school, I knew for a fact I was not gonna work a 9 to 5 job. It didn't even cross my mind. When I go to a job, I was already thinking about how can I exit out of this job and make money online where I'm in control of my time, right? So I asked myself those questions, right? How can I position myself where I could use the money that I'm making here now, where I could make money online and work from anywhere, and ultimately make my money work for me, right? So number one thing that I was focusing on, during that time, because, I don't have a good opportunity right now at that time. My expenses was low, but my income was extremely low as well, right? Or they break even. And time wise, I had a lot of time in my hand, but the main thing was I didn't have these 3 yet. So main thing I knocked down first was I made sure my health is on lock, right? Because you could only do this so much, and you want to make sure that you're in good health so you could do this for a longer time horizon. So eventually, whatever your goals are, who do you want to help and all these things, you're able to do it. And that's one of the things that I want to knock down here is health wise, ask yourself, you're, are you healthy? Like that's very simple, right? But it goes a long way. Are you healthy? Is the food that you eat fueling your day-to-day activities good, or are you having energy spikes? So these are a couple of things that you could ask yourself, right? Because the main thing is you need to have this thing on lock, because this is the foundation that we're going to use down the line, you knowing the main vision and why we're doing this, right? Because if you don't have these small things, then how could you do the big things, right? So the main thing here is, making sure that having, your clean diet, right? You're not eating fast food, because those things hinder the way you think, the way you, deliver yourself, the way you portray yourself, right? Your relationship with yourself is very important. And the first thing first is, a lot of people don't understand, but your mind and your gut is one, right? Your gut is its own mind. It can think, it can sense things. And if it's not clear, how could it, sense things or give you a sound feeling if you're fueling it with bad things, right? So making sure that your diet is clean, right? You're not constantly eating junk food. You're not eating fast food, any oily stuff, vegetable oils, seed oils, all these bad things for you. The things that's like unorganic, right? It's not whole foods. Like making sure that those are locked in, because if they're not locked in, how could the other things, how could you have enough time for the other things, and how are you able to be confident, and you're going to be able to maintain the energy once you have this? It's preparing yourself for the worst, and having a good foundation will ultimately help you that. And the main core components on this to actually exit your 9 to 5 job is, you need to have a good health, right? Making sure even though right now you need to manage your time correctly, right? It's not just once you get clock out, that's it, and then you just sit down, binge watch TVs, right? Being aware of what you watch as well, and all these things, right? So next step, which brings me to mindset, right? Where are you at? Where are you at currently with your relationship with yourself? Ask yourself, do I respect myself, right? These are the things I ask myself. And ultimately, if the answer is no to this, then what do I need to do to respect myself, right? Respect myself. Because for you to be able to negotiate or even talk to the other people, business owners or other people, you need to have a good foundation where you need to respect yourself. How are you supposed to talk to these big guys doing multiple, not putting them into pedestals, right? You need to be able to have your own foundation, your own principles, where you could ultimately have a roadmap or a guideline on who should you do business with, who should you avoid, and all these things, right? Do I respect myself? And if the answer is no to that, what do I need to do to respect myself, right? Maybe again, it's going to the gym, your self-esteem, right? These are just a lot of things a lot of people skip about, like, oh, it's not that important, but this is one of the most, important things that you could do for your journey on exiting your 9 to 5 job. If you truly want to do this, it's a long way ahead. If you're completely from scratch, these are the things that you need to prepare yourself with, right? Mindset, right? Who do I look up to? All right, who do I look up to? Or who inspires me, right? Ask yourself these questions and list down like 5 people that inspires you, and look the way they live their life, right? How do they live their life? Which kind of leads me to habits, right? Like, how do they live their life? What are the things they do? What are the things they don't like? What are the things they like? Who are their friends? How do they pick their friends, right? All these questions will help you build a insanely good, foundation where you're not going to be worrying about this down the line, because you just have an extreme confidence that you've built your foundation so good. And especially now that you're currently working a 9 to 5 job, take this time, right? So we have 12 weeks here. If we would break this down, you have 3 weeks to prepare for them. So that's the very first thing is, right? Maybe in health, mindset, habits, you knock this out in 3 weeks, right? You put a timeline on what you're going to do, right? And then once that's knocked down, move to the next one, right? And now once you have that locked down, now the next step is time. Like, how much time do you have right now? How much time do I have to allocate to building my business or my skills, right? To replace my current job, right? Because ultimately you need to know how much time do you have right now, and what is taking up my time in day-to-day basis, right? And then how do I make time for learning and acquiring the skills I need to run a business, to acquire, to run a business, or to make progress to replacing my job, my 9 to 5 job, right? So asking these questions will help you have a clear guideline on how much time should you be investing per day. And like, let's say the next day, instead of relying on your feelings, your emotions on, oh, I'll put some work here and there, but you have a clear guideline on what you need to do on a day-to-day basis, which is 3 weeks now, right? And then another 3 weeks now is putting things, being intentional with your time now, right? Am I intentional with my time? Another thing that I'm thinking about now too is time is very similar to energy, right? Because time management, it's very shallow, but your energy is so important because this is what allows you to exert and put energy into things where it could actually grow, right? Planting a tree, planting a plant is you put some like some stuff into it to grow, right? You water it to grow. It's the same thing for us, right? We could only put so much time into certain things. So ask yourself as well, who are taking away time from me? So asking yourself, how do you prioritize this? Who are taking my time away from me? And how do I change that so I can actually get closer to my goal, which is replacing my 9 to 5 job in 12 weeks? So now we have 3 weeks. You've locked down the health, the mindset, the habits. You've got the books, right? You've looked for entrepreneurship books, self-development, or maybe your habits, developing your health, right? Removing things that's not bad for you, because most of the time the things that we're supposed to do is remove things into our life so we could add and have more time and space to think. Because in our day and age, our attention span is insanely short, right? So you being able to watch this video, it's 11 minutes in, and it means you have somewhat of a good timeline of time span, right? Of your attention span. Because now the average time attention span is like 3 seconds, 5 seconds because of the short forms, right? And I'm not saying I'm perfect too with this as well. I'm obviously I've had my days, I have my season as well where there's times where I feel that way too. But essentially, right, I also have responsibilities now, right? And asking yourself, what am I missing out down the line that I'm sacrificing in this very moment, but in exchange of just quick dopamine hits and the times that I'm spending in this, situation. And then if we expand the time horizon, most of the time, the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis in our present time is actually not valuable, and it's not helping us move the needle to actually get you closer to our goal. So asking those questions, right? Your energy is important, so make sure you know where it goes, and how do you protect it, and where do you allocate it so it actually gets you closer to your goal. So, man, we're getting some sauce up here. So I hope you're having a you're finding some value in this video. If you have, let me know some of the things that you're learning right now, or some of the things that you've some eureka moments. Maybe if you like this video, like it, subscribe, make sure that you're sharing it to other people that you think might find it helpful, right? So there you go, time and energy. Now let's talk about expenses and income. You need to understand on, what's my capital currently, right? Asking yourself, how much money can I spend? Because now we have to plan ourselves as well, because we need to take risks, right? How much money do I have right now to invest into a mentor, right? How much money do I need to save up to invest into a community, to a program where it can get me closer to my goals, speed up the process, or testing out a new business venture, right? How much money do I bring in, right? How much money do I need to live my means? make sure at the beginning that what I did at the beginning is I was living extremely low on my expenses. It's not, it was just about $900 a month to $1,000 a month was my ultimately my expenses, and I think it was 70% of that was going to rent, right? And then there's some minor stuff like Spotify, I had a Spotify audiobook, right? And then food. Ultimately, that was it. And I was not going out, I was not doing this because those things are the things that you do once you get somewhat of a higher income now from your 9 to 5 job. You've replaced your job, you've taken some of the risks, right? So also, another thing that you could do when you're starting this journey is you need to prime yourself on what are the things that you should expect once you've acquired the lifestyle that you want, right? Picturing, creating a picture on what your life would look like down the line, right? And then maybe you could splurge here and there at the beginning so you know what it feels like. And now being strict and being disciplined on the things that you spend your money with, and ultimately, where does the money come in, and then how much money do I put out, and how much money do I need to invest in a particular venture that I need to do, who can help me, right, to ultimately get you closer to your goal, right? So expenses, you need to get that locked in, make sure you know exactly where it's going out. It's so important because the habit that you build now, you're gonna also use this once you're building your own business, right? So understanding this will put you way above other people. This is one of the fastest tricks I've done is where you put your attention to, it will grow. So if you put your attention into expenses and your income, how much money is coming in, it will grow because that's where you're putting your attention in, and eventually, right, your mind will subconsciously just find ways to increase that capital because that's the thing that you're trying to get to, right? So now understanding the expenses that you have, how much can I survive off if I quit my job right now to go all in on whatever business venture you feel like, right? And understanding that it will take some risk for you involved for you to get you closer to your goals. So which get me to my next thing is opportunity. What opportunities do I have currently? Is there anything that aligns to what I want to do long term? And best way to also to identify the business model that you need to do is you need to understand that you have personality, right? And maybe sales is not for you. For me, it was the main thing that helped me get to where I'm at right now, right? But high ticket closing might not be for you, right? So asking your question, right? What fits my personality, right? How, if you're naturally extroverted, then sales might be for you. It would be actually perfect for you because you being able to utilize one of your natural skills, it will translate into your job, right? Or your business venture you're gonna do. Figuring out, are you more of a techie person? Are you more of a systems guy? Asking your questions and asking now is like, what industries will be fit to my natural skills? Because you need to understand you have your own skills and you have your natural born abilities, and a lot of people disregard this. And yes, you could probably make some things work out even if you're naturally born at it, but the thing is you have already installed advantages. Why shouldn't you take advantage of the installed advantages that you have right now instead of trying to make something work out where you're truly passionate about, but you're constantly fighting an uphill battle? But if that's what you want to do, I'm all for it, right? I'm just saying the learning curve will probably be longer. It will essentially take some time, but you need to pick your battles, right? For me, I've tried a bunch of stuff, and understanding my own self, there are certain things that I could probably make this work out, but it will take me about 2 or 3 more years. But the main goal for me is maybe different for you. Essentially, for me, I want to become a millionaire by my 20s. So I was trying to find ways, trying to find opportunities where I could get there. So now this is what I'm essentially doing, right? So building a company is not easy, but if you know and you have natural born abilities and knowing and identifying what you're good at and what's in demand in the market, then you'll be able to position yourself to the best version of you can, and to be lucrative on any business model you get into, right? lot of people don't understand this, but how do I position myself in the best case to utilize my natural skills? So answering these questions, again, there's the 4 areas you need to consider when you're becoming, you want to transition out of your 9 to 5 job, and there's the things that you should build on top of, right? And then now, once you have this, maybe you've got the health and mindset habits locked down, right? You could start as like, you're working full time, right? And then now you have savings here and there, and you've taken the leap of faith on investing into a mentor or a program to get you there faster. Is believing truly in whatever you get into, that will work out, because essentially the mentors are there for you to make everything work out. But the main thing too is it will be up to you at the end of the day if you want to make it work out, right? That was how I did it. That's how I perceived it. And that's why I got into this position I'm in. Maybe a lot of people might think it's faster. It's because I put myself and involuntarily put myself where I have to perform, and I have to, make it work out, because if it doesn't work out, then I'm just going to live homelessly, or I have to go back to my parents' place, which is not what we want, right? So full-time, right? Maybe you're full-time right now. Eventually, once you've acquired and understand the time and energy, your expensive income, right? And then now you're developing the skills that you need to do. You will go to full-time and then go part-time, right? And then eventually, when we have enough layover or, leisure or separation from our income and our expenses, once we have lowered our income, our expenses, and our income is 10x, then we're saving some money here and there. And then now this is when we can go all in, right? And then, we fully invest into making it work out. So essentially, that's what I would do if I was in your position. That's what I did, right? I was working a full-time job, and then slowly transitioned into part-time, working 3 times a week from Monday, I think it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on those offs that I've had, then I'm also working on my business, right? And I'm working on trying to find ways on how to work in the business, testing out ways, trying to get clients, increasing my skills, right? Making sure that my health is taken care of. Then eventually, here we are, right? So that's your strategy, your game plan on how to get there. So if you want this, I could share this. I could even share this questionnaires for you. I'll put it probably in the link in the description below. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Again, I appreciate your time, because that's one of the most valuable things that you can give me, and I appreciate you making it all the way in this video. I hope you found something valuable in this video, on how it broke down on how you could fully transition from your current job and just essentially getting in a position where you could work remotely and all these things, right? Again, it's not easy, right? And you might be asking me, like, Elijah, what you've laid out to me, like, what's the clear, concise? There's no such thing as clear and concise, roadmap that we could give you. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own curvature on how they will tackle different problems. But what I could essentially do is I could give you the questions I've asked myself when I was in those positions, right? So again, these are the things that I would ask myself, and I constantly still ask myself during this time, even though like we're in pace for like 15 to 20K a month, base now, I'm still trying to do my best as well on doing this thing. So again, if you have found some value in this video, share it to someone that you might find this informational. And again, that's it for today's video. Hope you found something valuable into it. Again, I'll leave you guys with this thing. Be a creator, not a consumer. Inspire someone today. Create something today that will inspire you and others. Peace.